All right. Good morning, everybody. Today we are doing our next lesson on platform power up. And today is all about Instagram for impact. Some of us do Instagram really, really well. Some of us don't do Instagram at all. But today we're going to talk about how you can incorporate Instagram as part of your marketing plan to get you seen online. So we've already talked about our agent website, and I think that was a great one. There's so many tools in your agent website, even 40 minutes couldn't cover it. I could literally go through our agent website for 4 hours, but I don't think that's productive for anybody because we only retain the first 30 to 40 minutes of any educational program. The rest we just kind of tune out. That's just where human brains work. So love having these smaller snippet trainings so that we can all take one takeaway from it and put it into action right away. After that, we went over the Google Business Profile. Hopefully you all set up your Google Business Profile and those are up and running. Last week, we went over Facebook for Business. And we talked a little bit about Instagram last week and how you can connect the two platforms together. But you can only do that if you have both Facebook and Instagram. So today's the second set of that, and this is Instagram for Impact. That way you can flow your Facebook stuff over to Instagram and you're servicing multiple platforms. Now, when I talk to agents a lot, they say, well, I'm on Facebook because that's where most agents are. And that is true. Most consumers are using Facebook regardless of their age, but you're almost missing a huge part of the demographic that's coming up into the point where they're going to be buying their first time homes. And that is Instagram, because we find that a lot of younger generation, the generation right under my generation, is on Instagram. So even though, I was a Facebook young adult, the Instagram kids are now becoming Instagram young adults, and they are the ones who are purchasing their first home. So it's not enough to be on Facebook. I can tell you my kids are in their early 20s. My oldest son is now thinking about purchasing his first home. And even though he has a Facebook, he really doesn't utilize Facebook. He's not a Facebook scroller. He is definitely on Instagram, as most people his age. So really consider putting more into your Instagram if you want to lock in that next generation of home buyers that are now coming up into their early to mid 20s, like my kids are. Because like I said, even though they have a Facebook, they really don't utilize it. They're utilizing Instagram. Why Instagram matters. So it's an essential tool for real estate success. Instagram is still the #1 platform for real estate visibility over Facebook and TikTok combined. And we're not talking about followers or numbers of accounts. We're talking about the visibility. So Instagram is unique that it's unlike Twitter, where you would just put in, whatever's on your mind at that point, or Facebook, where you can put in whatever's on your mind. You can put a photo, you can put whatever. Instagram is a very visual platform. It's very, very visual. Most people don't read the text behind things. They want to see photos. They want to see videos. They want to see short snippets, graphics, stories. That's what people are looking at on Instagram. So it's a very visual type of social media platform. So it does have huge visibility over Facebook and TikTok using the same mechanisms that you would use on those social media pages. So 90% of users follow a business. So that's huge. 90% of each users on Instagram follow at least one business on their Instagram account. The Instagram is a platform where buyers and sellers will research for agents. It's not enough just to read the resume. So you got to remember what demographic we're talking about. And we're talking to those 20-somethings, early 30-somethings. And they are going to Instagram to research who their agent is going to be, because it's not enough just to read about them. They don't want to read your resume. They want to see your face. They want to hear your voice. They want to see what you're doing and if it resonates with them. What's great is, like most social media platforms, it's free. It requires no tech experience, and it converts with consistency. Somebody's trying to jump in here. There we go. So the goal is to set the tone. This is your digital storefront. So first, let's talk about setting up your Instagram, because if you don't have an Instagram set up, then all of this is a moot point. So we're going to be talking about setting up an Instagram specifically for business. So if you don't have a personal Instagram account, it's super easy to sign up for one. I don't think we have to go through a training on telling you how to get an Instagram personal account, but go ahead and set up your Instagram personal account. Once you have your personal account set up, you're going to need to switch it to professional mode. So by switching it to a professional account, you unlock essential features tailored for business. Thank you. Including analytics, contact options, and promotional tools vital for real estate agents. You also want to select a business account that allows you to showcase your services effectively, offering potential clients a transparent view of your real estate offerings. And you're able to turn on insights like we did on Facebook, which allows you to track certain things like engagement metrics, performance, and this really allows you to refine your strategy and helps you post consistently. So step by step, again, if you are on a single device and you want to do this in real time, feel free to open up another device while I'm talking and go through your Instagram account. So what you are going to do is you're going to log into Instagram. You could do this through your app or through your PC. These instructions are going to show you on your PC how to do this because I think it's a little easier on your PC if you're doing it for setup purposes. So what I want you to do is log into your Instagram account, and then I want you to scroll down to settings. Okay, so it's going to show you here when you're on your PC, it's on the left-hand side, you're going to see home, and you're going to go down to account, and then you're going to go into settings. All right, once you click that settings button, you are going to go, is it clicking? There it goes. You're going to go to professional account. Once you click that professional account in the menu, this little sidebar is going to pop up and it says professional account. This is where you can start filling in the information about your new account. So you're going to select the category in which you would like, and mine is products and services. You're going to put in your email address, you're going to put in your telephone number, and then you're going to click continue. And if I'm going too fast, you guys can like holler at me and I'll slow it down. Okay. Next, you want to optimize your bio. So once you put in your generalized information, the screen is going to pop up that says what your username is, and then it's going to ask you to customize your bio. So you want to make sure that your bio is answering 3 things quickly: who you help, where you serve, and what you want them to do. So here's an example template for you where you can put your name, realtor, Realty One Group, serving, what county, what market. So I'm currently sitting in Elwood City, so I would put serving Lawrence and Beaver County, specializing in the Elwood City market. Then who you're helping. So buyers, sellers, investors. This could be, new construction, first-time home buyers, veterans, whatever it is that your niche is, you want to go ahead and put that there. And then you want to put your tagline in. So this is an example tagline, your one connection in real estate. It can be literally whatever you want your tagline to be. Go ahead and put that in. And then you definitely want to link it to your website or Linktree. If you don't know what Linktree is, go check them out. We're not going to deep dive into Linktree into this training, but we may have a subsequent training about it. So it's a pretty cool tool. It is a paid tool. It's not, they're not a partner of Realty One or anything like that. It's just something cool that you can use to supercharge your social media sites, not just on Instagram, but across all platforms. We're not going to talk any more about it today, but feel free to go check them out. You want to make sure that your brand identity is clear. We've talked about this on other social media sites. You want to make sure that you have consistent colors and a clear, recognizable headshot across all platforms. So Instagram is no different. So you want to make sure that your colors are consistent with your online marketing, with your printed marketing, with your website, with your Google profile. You want to make sure that your brand identity flows over from one social media site to the other. So if somebody does a Google search and you come up, you don't look like a completely different person. You don't have black and gold on this site and then white and gold on this site and then, red and yellow on this site. You want to make sure that your message and your brand identity is cohesive and clear across all platforms. You also want to make sure that your headshot is recognizable on every platform. The easiest way to do this is make sure that you have the same headshot on all of your platforms. Your headshot is exactly the same. Now, if you do want to switch it up and have different versions of that headshot on each one of your platforms, you can absolutely do that. But just make sure that these headshots were taken at the same session or at the same time, so that your hair is the same and your clothing is the same and the background is the same or similar. So you want to make sure that it looks very cohesive, so that you don't have a headshot on Facebook from yesterday and then one on Instagram from 5 years ago, and people can't tell that it's the same person. Because remember, they don't know you personally. This is your resume. They don't know you personally. And the internet is filled with real estate agents who look to the average person who's never met you and doesn't know you the same or similar. So you want to make sure that your brand is consistent across all platforms. What you post must match your personal brand. Agents struggle because they copy other agents. Define your brand. Stop copying other agents. Who are you as an individual agent? What makes you different as an individual agent? What markets do you focus on? How should your content feel? What does your content say about you as a person? Okay. I see lots of agents. I follow lots of agents where, they have, they'll have even something as simple of like, as a just listed post. One day they've got it and it's, black and burgundy, because they're on Canva and they're playing around. And then the next day they post something else and it's, purple and white. And then they post something else and it's, it's burgundy and orange. I'm making it up, but you know what I mean? Like there's no brand consistency. So every time you see a post, it almost looks like they've moved companies or they're doing something different with their life. So to be recognizable, you have to be consistent. And I've talked to agents in the past over, my 18 years of doing this, and they say, well, I get bored with it. I understand you get bored with it, so you can change up kind of the pizzazz of the post. But remember, those 7 touches, it takes 7 interactions for somebody to recognize you and recognize you with real estate. So it takes even longer for somebody who's seeing a post, who's not having interactions with you, to be like, oh, I know this, I've seen these colors before. That's Rebecca, because, black and gold is Rebecca. That's how you want people to start, associating you with your brand, whether your brand is colors, fonts, photos, the tone of voice that you use. Being consistent with your branding will get people to inherently assume that every time they see black and gold, or every time they see white and gold, or whatever it is that you're using in your branding, associating that directly to you. And that's what we want to happen. That's the point of all this, right? So best practices, black and gold accent colors. Obviously you don't have to do that, but if you're going with staying true to your brand, that's the easiest way to do it across all platforms. Keep your fonts clean and readable. Don't get too fancy with them. Don't make it hard to read. Use professional headshots only. Use the ROG logo, but don't overuse it. And what I mean by that is sometimes I'll see posts where it's all about the company logo. We know we all have rules to follow and that your brokerage information needs to be there, but it doesn't need to be all about the brokerage. Your branding should be about you as an agent, what you do, who you serve, what markets you're serving, what makes you special. Not telling you to break any laws, but I'm telling you that it shouldn't be about the brokerage. It should be about you. You are the brokerage. You are the face. You are the face. So make sure your face is front and center. Keep your post consistent across all platforms. Super important. All right. Now that you've set up your Instagram, you've put in your about me, you've put in your markets, you've put in your phone number, you've put in your email, you've done all of those things. Your account is now set up and ready to rock and roll. So you can see we've gone through it, and now you can see on the page there that Realty One Group Ultimate now has its own Instagram page. So now we're able to start posting on our Instagram and tie our Facebook and Instagram together. Before we go any further about posting and some good practices, anybody have any questions? Questions, comments, anything? Does anybody not have an Instagram page? No? Okay, great. Ready to rock and roll. Let's go. All right, so let's talk about content, okay? So it's not just enough to set up your Instagram page and your business page. You have to fill it with content for it to work. So agents must categorize content to stay consistent. The easiest way to figure out what you should be posting is breaking it down into the certain categories or the certain pillars of posts for the real estate industry. First being authority or education. So this is stuff like market updates, your buyer and seller advice, your frequently asked questions, your how to get pre-approved as a first-time home buyer, or what happens at a home inspection, why appraisals are important when you're purchasing a home, understanding title and why title matters. It could be just anything. These could also be certain things like tips for homeowners who are already homeowners, like winterizing your property, providing maintenance through the winter, how to keep your house safe through the holidays. We're talking about like trees and fire and that kind of stuff. So think of that thing. I mean, think wide on education. It doesn't have to be just about the process of buying or selling a home, but authority and education could be more. This is part of your value proposition. So you're sharing what you know to other people. Social proof. This is going to be your testimonials, your just closed, your under contract post. This is going to be your proof, your resume proof that you know what you're doing and other people have entrusted you to do it. So other people should, so the reader should as well. Okay. This is your resume proof. Lifestyle and community. Don't forget these. So many people forget lifestyle and community. So go out into the public and go to local restaurants and tag them. We talked a little bit in Facebook about tagging other business owners or, other content creators on social media. That's super important still with Instagram. So going to your local restaurants, tagging that restaurant, tagging that coffee shop, going to events like light up nights or parades and posting about the parades and about the community to show people that you're in that community. Make sure you're using those hashtags and geotags that we talked about in previous lessons. Office photos, one of the very first things that I have anybody post who's scared of social media is, okay, don't take a picture of yourself. I want you to pull up the MLS on your laptop. I want you to get a cup of coffee and put it beside it. And I want you to take a photo of your coffee mug with the MLS up on your computer. And I want you to hashtag it, coffee is for closers. It's the simplest post, but they work. They work. Something that simple works to drive traffic to your social media pages. It provides, that really organic post that people can start, commenting on, liking, sharing. A lot of other agents will share that kind of content because they find it cute and they find it relevant. So don't be afraid to do those types of things. And then also personal brand. So things behind the scenes, your story, your hobbies, get people to know you on a completely different level. Be careful with personal items. Okay. So just a word of caution, be careful with personal items. Again, we want to go back to the things that we shouldn't post. We should not post controversial stuff. We should not post anything that could be even assumed to be a violation with fair housing. We should not put our children on our public pages in a way that their faces could be stolen for content elsewhere. So just be very cautious when doing personal stuff. But you don't want it always so professional. You want something that ties your personal life into your business life. Okay. So something like, let's go back to the parade. Okay. And you take a picture of a float and love when I can get out in the community and talk to people about real estate while still enjoying time with my family. The kids are having a ball. or something like that. Tie it in so that people know that, yes, you are a professional, but they can also see that inner side of you that makes them feel like they know you on another level. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like where you're saying like Instagram is a more younger generation, might be a good idea to be out in the community and showing them like, oh, this is a good place to go get coffee. So if they feel like there's a lot in the area, that might be an area that they end up buying.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can really, what I like about content is obviously we can't advertise to a certain category of buyer. So when we put a listing out there, we can't say, this is ideal for a downsizer or somebody who, you know what I mean, somebody who needs all one floor or whatever. You can't say that because it's covered under fair housing. So it makes it really hard when we're marketing our properties to really tailor to our niche. So let's say that you are a VA agent and you love to help veterans. That is what you do. You are knowledgeable with veterans 110%, and you really want to attract more veterans. Okay. What you can do on Instagram is that's where I would make a big deal about, the 4th of July, Veterans Day, going to like golf outings and stuff. Like I know my best friend, Jess, she's in the military. She's a huge supporter of the veterans. She does this big golf outing once a year for the veterans. So she does a lot of those. So I would tell you like, hey, make sure you're attending these events and posting it on Instagram because that's who you want to attract, or Facebook or wherever you're going to post to. And you're inherently, showing that this is what you're good at. You know what I mean? Not that you won't help all buyers, regardless of who they are, but this is what you're really good at is veterans. So same to Rebecca. Like Rebecca, if you are really good with like young professionals, first time home buyers, then yes, you would go to, okay, this is the best coffee spot. And they have like upgraded Wi-Fi when you're working on the go. And, with me, it would be like, oh, this is where the dog park is because I love dogs, so really, this is where you can really tailor that niche within your, within your marketing plan, because our hands are so tied elsewhere. Now, obviously, you never want to, I have to say it, never violate fair housing. We want to include all. But if you really want to get into that micro niche of not who people are, but where they're moving to and why they're moving a certain place, like for work or, again, because they're veterans, they're using a VA loan, something like that, this is where Instagram is really going to come in and be helpful. So on Instagram, there are 3 types of posts that matter the most. This is going to be reels, carousels, and stories. Remember that Instagram is highly visible. So the more you can do that is interactive with the eye, the better. Now, if we look on Facebook, Facebook has lots of photos. It used to be just a lot of like text and stuff like that, but now it's gotten more into photos and reels and things. So now we say definitely include a photo, definitely include a video. But when it comes to Instagram, if it's just a photo, chances are it doesn't get looked at. So this is where your reels, your carousels, and your stories go to. If you don't know what a carousel is, basically a carousel is multiple photos that move, kind of like the old carousels at the, what do you call it, the fairs? They're moving photos, so that kind of like a slideshow. And we have lots of those available for you in One Design, which we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. But reels, carousels, and stories are going to get you the best bang for your time. So I challenge you all to post 3 reels per week. So that's a short video. Share 2 carousels per week. And you can use this for like your educational content or even your brand content, where maybe you have a carousel and it has like 5 photos of like tips for maintaining your home in the winter, tips for keeping your home safe during the holiday season, those types of things. And they can be instructional things that are read. Stories, create a daily story, daily. And it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be drawn out, but I can literally do a story right now that says, Hey guys, just got to work. So excited about today's training. We're talking all about our Platform Power Up series, Instagram for Impact. I'm so excited to talk to everybody about Instagram, trying to do better on Instagram myself. Why don't you guys hold me accountable? And I'm going to be back tomorrow and post you just a daily update on what's going on in my real estate world. So it could be anything. It could be, wearing my ugly sweater to the office today because we have our annual ugly sweater contest. I'm taking out Belle this year. Ha ha ha. Could be my story, and then I would tag Belle in it. And then we're both getting views off of that. So these are the three things that you really want to put your time and effort into on Instagram. So Reels are for engagement. You want to maximize your reach with Reels. Reels have the highest reach of any content on Instagram. This allows you to showcase your listings, connect with potential clients, make them short and quick. Do not try to post something that is 15 minutes long. Short, quick, 30 seconds to a minute at most. Make it short, make it sweet, make it impactful. But nobody's going to really watch a 15-minute reel. So make it quick, make it short, make it sweet, get right to the point. So what could you do that? What could you do for those? Maybe an example of what $200,000 gets you in the Elwood City market. And then you're showing a few snippets of the property that you just listed or a property you're doing an open house on. The truth about buying in 2026. What's the market look like? Make it short and sweet. Stop scrolling if you want to buy a home this year, and then give maybe 3 tips on what they need to do. Quick tours. So a real quick tour, I'm going to pick on Tobias because Tobias has been doing quick tours on Facebook Reels and Instagram Reels, and they are great. Please go check out Tobias's Reels. He does a really great job at them. They're not super long. He does a real quick introduction. I mean, like real quick, less than 10-second introduction. And then he shows like a sped up version, kind of going through the best sections of the house. He doesn't do a full walkthrough, but he'll show you kind of like the highlights of like highlighted the kitchen, a highlight of the living room. Tobias, I'm really proud of you. You've done really amazing at those. You've gotten really good at those. Or story time. My client bought a house for $50,000 under list price. This is how. So use those reels to attract clients. We talked about this last week about, having your hook as part of your post. So you want to continue that here. Make sure you've got a good hook to it to get people to hear that first hook instead of, hi, this is Christina Hoffmeyer from Realty One Group Ultimate, and I'm here to talk to you today about what $200 buys you in this market. Now, you would start out with, you want to know what $200,000 buys you in the Elwood City market? Check this out. And then go for it. And then maybe put some text on your screen that says, call Christina Hoffmeyer, Realty One Group Ultimate with your, with the telephone number on it. DM me now for more details. But put that hook right front and center. Instagram stories, daily must-dos. So if you're going to do a daily Instagram story, again, make it short, make it sweet, make it right to the point. Doesn't have to be rehearsed. This doesn't have to be a big ordeal. Do a behind the scenes. So share glimpses of your daily routine. You could do a poll. Has anybody ever seen a poll like a this or that? What do you like? This or that? Where should I go? Here or there? Do you like this? I was showing 2 houses today. Tell me which one's your favorite, this kitchen or this kitchen. You know what I mean? And you could do a little video like that. Quick Q&A. So you can do a quick Q&A and ask for your followers to ask you questions directly, and then you interact with them. So those are just some ideas about your Instagram stories. Use trending audio and keep your videos under 9 seconds for best reach. 9 seconds. Think about that, 9 seconds. If you took 9 to 15 seconds out of your workday once a day, and it could change your business, why the hell aren't we all doing it? Why the hell aren't we? 9 to 15 seconds per day could increase your reach, increase your following, and bring more business into your pipeline for 2026. 9 to 15 seconds a day. These are not big things, people. These are not huge things, but we consistently hear like, I don't know how, or I don't have time, or all of those are just excuses. And I'm not exempt. It's about creating good habits. You have to create the good habits. So I challenge you for the next 21 days, 21, that's it, 21 days, put an alert on your calendar that says you have to post an Instagram story that day. And why 21 days? Does anybody know why I'm saying 21 days?
Well, I know that it's 27 days to create a habit.
I heard 21, but 27. Okay. So let's bring it up. Let's bring it up to even 30. 1 month to create a habit, right? Once it becomes a habit, and at the end of that little less than a month, you're going to be so used to doing the Instagram stories that it's going to be no time. There's going to be no time involved. There's going to be no hesitation. You're not going to care about like, oh, my hair looks weird, or my voice sounds weird, or like those are the hesitations. Those are the stumbling blocks that we trip over because they're like, well, I sound weird, or I look weird, or the lighting isn't right. And they're all just excuses, right? They're excuses because we're so wrapped up in the, what are other people going to think? Nobody else is going to notice that you had like a hair out of place here. Nobody else is going to notice that your voice squeaked at the end. Nobody cares that the lighting just isn't so, nobody cares. The only one that cares is us because we're so ready to be like, laughed at and ridiculed because we just have this internal dialogue where it makes us feel like everybody's talking about us, but it's all in our head. It's all in our head. So 9 to 15 seconds could change a business. So what are some other things we can do with our stories? Your morning coffee, working on closings today, behind the scenes at a showing, tours of a neighborhood. So highlights of a neighborhood. Remember, you're going to keep it short, but want to see the best things about Elwood City? Check this out. And here's a picture of me grabbing a coffee at the coffee shop. Here's a picture of, me taking in the sights of the park. Here's me with a picture of my tennis shoes, just directed down to my tennis shoes, walking on the trail in Ewing Park. It could be anything. It could be anything. And it doesn't have to have your face in it the whole time. You don't have to have your face like, hey, look at me getting my coffee. No, turn it around and grab the coffee from National Grind. Put the camera down and film you walking in your white tennis shoes down a trail, in Ewing Park. Start to think outside of the box. Client updates, polls, different polls, question stickers, ask me anything about real estate. Lots of things you can do. Your only limitation is your imagination. All right, so all of that's great, but how often should we be doing it? So posting frequency, maximize your reach with stories and reels. Here are some other examples for you. But minimum system should be 3 times for reels a week, 2 times a week for carousels, and a daily story. Remember, those daily stories should be short and sweet, 9 to 15 seconds. Your reels can be a little longer, but your daily stories is just kind of like your daily check-in. Like, hey, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm still in real estate. Check this out. See you next time. Like, remember, those stories should be super short. But your reels can be longer. So you're going to put a little bit more time into your reels. So just a daily quick check-in story to let them know that you're still here, you're still in real estate, and you can still help them. Use One Design for your Instagram carousels. You can use those there's a bunch of stuff in there. There's a bunch of different templates in there. They're completely customizable. So I think that there's like 4 or 5 different templates in there for carousel. And they just have like some generic wording on them. You can use them as is. You can change them up. Definitely change them up. Use ChatGPT. I've said this 100 times. Use ChatGPT to help you come up with ideas for your carousel. Remember, they're short, they're sweet, they're, anywhere from like 5 to 7 different images that kind of scroll that say, 5 tips for buying a home in 2026, or, 5 tips for winterizing your home this winter, 11 reasons why you should do the following things, keep your home safe during the holidays, whatever. 6 reasons why you should re-quote your home insurance, after you refinance your home, or whatever. You do you. But Use One Design. It's super easy. It cuts out so much time. Like just go in there and you can put in whatever text you want. It's all designed for you. It keeps your brand consistent across all platforms. You can add your photo. You can add your information in there and how they can get a hold of you. Definitely check it out. All right. So why is this all, like, we put this all together and why is it important? Because of lead generation. Okay, these posts are going to trigger DMs. DMs are going to trigger followers and conversations. Use those lead magnets to provide valuable content to get those people to reach out to you. And you definitely want to broadcast against all channels to engage with audiences. The whole point is to get them to either pick up the phone and make an appointment with you or send you a message so that you can start a conversation. All right, so using those lead magnets that we talked about in Facebook, which you can also use in Instagram, incorporating those into your stories, into your reels about like, reach out to me now. I'll be happy to send you my free home buyer's guide ebook or whatever. And we do have a home buyer's guide ebook on your documents and resources, just so you know. But you can give that away as a lead magnet, where they just have to fill out the form and provide their information. You're going to email them a copy of the book. You're going to email them a way that they can figure out what their home is worth, and you can get them that free market evaluation. Maybe you switch it up, which I love. I love when I see agents switch it up and not just about the home buying or home selling, but actually giving them valuable content about maybe ways they can save money, or the community magazine ebook. Looking to buy in Elwood City, we'd be happy to send you an ebook about all about the history and the companies and amenities of Elwood City. So make a community ebook. If you're from Newcastle, make a Newcastle community book. If you're in Hermitage, make a Hermitage community ebook, and use that as part of a lead magnet to attract the people in that area that you want to service. All right, so this goes, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. Lead magnets, home buyer's guide, seller's checklist, market reports, 2026 home value report. And then you would want to add in that DM me. So DM me triggers in the captions. DM me for a list of off-market properties for sale. DM me ready if you want to buy this year. Get creative with it. If you've ever seen our social media posts when it talks about, we talk about the Ultimate Scholars Program, or we onboard a new agent, a lot of times I'll say text lead to this number, which is just it's just a random number that the brokerage has. Text scholar, text Tobias. Like if we feature Tobias, it'll say text Tobias to this number to learn how to get started at Realty One Group, just like Tobias has. And believe it or not, that stuff works. I get text messages with that word in there, and I know where that follower, where that person came from. So if I put on there like text April to 724-727, whatever our number is, and it comes over April, I know that I'm like, oh, they saw the post I put about April on Instagram, and they're texting me because I asked them, if you want to see what it takes to start your career in real estate, like April has, text April. So these lead funnels and the DMs with the wording in it, I mean, they actually work. We've tested this. We do this at the brokerage. It does work. So I highly suggest that you incorporate this into your social media platforms, not just Instagram, but Facebook as well. Definitely suggest it. All right, so some broadcasts. ROGU Hot Homes List, Investor Alerts, Motivation Monday for Buyers. These are all things that you can have people subscribe to. DM me if you want to learn, if you want a weekly list of all of my off-market properties, text ROGU Hot Homes List to the telephone number. And then you can send out almost like a little newsletter, a text newsletter through your CRM to these people each week on a certain day. Investor Alerts, Motivation Monday, you can send out a motivational post to them. And you can broadcast channels through your Instagram as well. All right, so weekly action plan. I'm running a little over here. Sorry, I've been talking a little bit more than usual. So weekly action plan, daily stories to keep your audience engaged and informed, Post 3 reels weekly to maximize your reach potential, and share at least 2 carousels each week for deeper storytelling. All right, I'm going to stop talking now. All right, open it up, unmute yourself, ask any questions, give me your comments, give me your suggestions, anything I missed or that anybody would like to add about Instagram.
I just want to know, anybody that is doing like a lot of content, are you using any certain apps to like edit your posts and things like that?
Anybody? Jim is like the Instagram king.
I use Canva, and Canva is free, so you don't have to pay, to use Canva. Now, I do pay for the professional mode because you have more access to other tools for reels and posts, and maybe even like some professional stock photography that you don't create yourself. But initially, when I first started my Instagram account, I just used Canva for like the first 2 years, the free account, and it worked for me. So that's what I use.
Cool, thanks. I have Canva. I actually pay for it too, and I don't remember the last time I used it. So
Yeah, I use Canva a lot, like for photo editing. I used to use like I can't remember what the program was called now, and then I went to Photoshop through Adobe. And I used to use Photoshop. It's not real user friendly. I mean, once you get to learn how to use it, it's okay. But I actually, the last time we did the lifestyle photography, I used Canva to edit the photos. And I found it was so much easier, and I had such better results with it.
I've seen like some of like for like videos. I signed up for it and I was like, I wasn't using it. But like more for videos, like when you have a script. So if you have something that you're talking about, you can kind of make a script, and then what it does is it comes on the screen while you're taking the video, but like the audience won't see that script. You'll just be able to read from it. And I haven't used it yet, but I thought about using that because I think that's my hard part about being able to post videos. And it's like, I know a lot, but like my confidence of like, okay, am I going to say that something that's incorrect or stuff like that is like kind of what deters me from actually posting those videos.
Yeah, I've used a prompter screen before as well. With my ADD, I've tried it. I can't. But I have heard it works great for a lot of people. Like with me, I get tripped up more. So with me, I kind of wing it. But I think those prompters are good, especially if you're doing like an educational type of series. With me, you'll notice that I put a lot of, like, even with these presentations, I put a lot of what I'm going to say on the screen just so that it kind of prompts me to remember it. And I don't often read exactly what's on the screen, but being able to look at it kind of reminds me of like, oh, this is the next topic. And as you can tell, sometimes I still get ahead of myself, but no, I think that can be super valuable. Any other questions on Instagram?
I just wanted to say, so like my thinking is anything and everything, even like on a micro level, you can create, for content, like whatever you're doing. And you gave a lot of great examples. If you don't post one reel a week, the algorithm will forget you, and you don't want that to happen. So you definitely want to do a minimum of one reel a week. Three is great. You could even do 5, but like most people, even like other businesses that do social media, like they even say like 7 reels a week, 7 days is too much. Just keep it to 5. And once you delve into Instagram, you want to explore your professional dashboard, because it will tell you who your audience is, where they're coming from. Are they from Pittsburgh? Like I have people from other countries that visit my account. And like for me, I focused in on getting followers, but like once I hit 10,000 followers every day, I lose like anywhere between like 67 to 100 followers, and then I gain them all back. It's just like, so like, if that would have happened when I first started, I would have been like all panicked and like, what am I doing wrong? You know, because like 100 followers is a lot, but like now it's just the way it is. The other thing is I would suggest is when you do captions for your posts and things like that, make sure you're using hashtags. It used to be, oh, you want to use 25 hashtags, and that's not the case anymore. You could geotag like Newcastle or New Brighton. You know, use a geotag and a hashtag. So a geotag is like your location. Are you in Pittsburgh? Or are you in New Brighton? Or you could use a hashtag in combination with a geotag to double up on local exposure, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing I do is like I try to follow as many realtors as I discover on Instagram, because you never know, you might be doing business with them at the closing table. And some other realtors produce great content, right? That is sort of like good for buyers or good for sellers. And I repost their stuff to my stories, right? Because they did the work for me, you know? So that's one other strategy that I use, is that I repost other content that other people created, because it's good and it's real estate related. The other thing is too, you don't want to think in terms of social media. I think social for me is like Facebook, like relationships and everything, but you are building relationships on Instagram. In my opinion, Instagram is more interest media. So you want to engage your viewers, like whether it be a reel or whatever. What would interest a buyer most about this house? Or what would interest people about you, right? Or whatever you're doing, or real estate. Just get creative about it and think in terms of interest and gaining interest, because then people are going to come back and look at your post, look at your profile, maybe engage your profile, all those things.
I love that. I love that. Instagram for interest.
Yes, exactly.
Instagram for interest.
And then the other thing that I do is I don't really subscribe to any accounts on YouTube, but I search for Instagram updates, right, on YouTube. But you want to sort by date, because you want the most current information. So there are people out there that keep track, because it can be overwhelming with all this stuff, right? So I'm like, oh, you know, these people keep track of Instagram and updates and what you should be doing and not be doing, etc., because the algorithm changes, you know. So I leverage that, because they'll tell me what best practices are happening, or changes to Instagram that are up and coming, whatever, because they're interviewing executives at Instagram or Meta or whatever. So do that too. That way you stay up to date, like what the heck is going on.
I love that. And Jim uses Linktree as well. Jim, just so that you know, you have to update your Linktree. Because I'm on your Instagram right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so make sure you go in there and update your Linktree. But Jim currently has 10,300 followers on Instagram. So if you need some help getting your Instagram up and running, definitely, reach out to Jim. He's always, there to jump in and help. He does, a real great job of answering questions. But his bio on here says, real estate agent. I love helping my clients achieve their real estate dreams. # Pittsburgh Living. It shows his location, Pittsburgh, PA. It shows his telephone number there. It also shows his email address, shows the office location, and then he has his linked tree in there. So basically, with that link tree, you can click on, like when you're on his profile, you just click the link in there and it's going to pull up all of his other social media pages as well as his website. So that it gives kind of like the follower a direct line to you. Like, okay, like here's all your information, but where else can I find you? So this helps you take your followers from one platform and shuffle them to other platforms. It's almost like a digital business card. It's really great. There is a cost for that. Jim, do you know how much that costs?
I think I paid $9.99 for Linktree.
Is that per month?
Per month, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then
Yeah, it's a really neat tool.
Yeah, you could add like as many links as you can to it. So it does help you leverage.
Yeah, and we're going to talk more about that in week 10, where we talk about taking our social media platforms and turning them into a lead machine. That's why I didn't really go into it a lot today, but it is one of those tools that we will talk about on week 10, about kind of like the different tools and the different things that are out there that you can kind of, now that you have all of your platforms set up and running on a free scale, now what can we add in? What can we do to really make it a money machine that's working for you in the background? So we'll talk about that on week 10, but that's one of the tools I definitely wanted to talk about. And I just happened to pull it up because you were talking about your social media account and you have it up and running already. So that's great. So, all right, well, that is all for us today. We are heading on to an hour. Love the engagement on this one. I think that, I think Instagram is underutilized by a lot of us. Another one that is highly underutilized is LinkedIn. And people get bored with LinkedIn, but we're going to talk about LinkedIn. I'm also not great with LinkedIn. I have LinkedIn. It's all set up. I don't post as regularly as I should. So this one's going to be important for me too, because as I told you guys, all of you guys, when I train on something, I actually have to do it before we train on it. So this one was a real eye opener for me on the things that I could be doing within LinkedIn that I'm just simply not doing. So this is a good habit for me. So hopefully you guys join me for the LinkedIn for Credibility. I think that there's a lot of tools in there that we're not using. I think it's underutilized because we get so wrapped up in the agent website and the Google and the Facebook and the Instagram that there's some of these ones on the second half of this training on weeks 5, 6, 7, and 8 that sometimes we're not doing, that we really should be doing. So these are untapped resources that we're really getting into. So it's getting a little harder as the weeks go on. It is making you really get into making sure that you're consistent across all of your profiles on the internet. And that's what this whole training is about consistency and tapping into resources that are there and free and available for you, and creating those good habits to make sure that we're showing up everywhere we need to online. So please join me for LinkedIn for Credibility week 5. And I am in the Elwood office until 3 o'clock, until it's time for me to go and set up for our party tonight. So don't forget, ugly sweater party tonight, 5 o'clock, Vinny's Restaurant. Can't wait to see you guys all there so we can relax, unwind, have a good time. And dinner will be served, so do not eat before you get there, please. We are having a full dinner tonight. So hope to see you guys all there. And like always, I will stay on the line in case you guys have any questions before I jump off. But if not, I'll see you here this evening. Thanks, guys.